Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Awaken with Silkina. We have a very special episode today and a very special guest, Norma.
Thank you.
I just completed a 4-day shadow work retreat that completely transformed my life and truly the lives of the group, right? And watching everyone become your clear mirror is something that I'm not used to, because my intention coming into this retreat was to really embrace my vulnerability, which is something that I really hadn't done, or I thought I did, but again, it was a mental process.
Yeah.
And so today I really want to talk about really just going deep into the foundation of shadow work. And I really want this episode and this video to help our audience understand what exactly is shadow work, right? Because I think that it's really important that before we do any deep kind of work, that we understand what we are doing. And to actually learn the knowledge and science of why shadow work is even important. So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, I'm Norma.
Hello, Norma.
I come from Las Vegas, here in Bali right now, originally from Mexico, but I found my healing journey 15 years ago when the regular stuff didn't work for me, right? When the mental process didn't work for me, when the medicine didn't work for me. So I needed to start looking for alternatives, right? And so I started exploring, and I went into modalities that I never heard of in my life, and I saw the results, and one led to another and led to another, and literally that's how I came into my full journey, which is today into what we call shadow work, which is inner healing, right? It's inner child healing. But what makes different shadow work from other modalities is that we go through somatics, we go into the subconscious part, into what is not aware, which is what we call a shadow. Shadow meaning lack of awareness, lack of enlightenment, or lack of not knowing, right? So we go to the subconscious, and we go through what the body records, like the tension, the knot in the throat, or the pressure on the chest, on the punch in the gut, or the shock, or the freezing feeling, right? Things like that, somatics. We access through those sensations. We access by being present with those, by giving attention to those, not even conditional. It's more of just witnessing without any resistance, that eventually those sensations connect us to a memory where that sensation that we're feeling originated from. So shadow work essentially is the process of putting yourself together again. Why do I say that? It's because when you go through those memories, you discover that at the moment of that impact, because it was an experience that it created some sort of impact in your life, you fragmented yourself. You basically, like a glass that you drop and it breaks into little pieces. That's exactly what happens to us if there is no resolution, which is the very reason why you have those sensations, meaning that as soon as you have a reaction in the body in an interaction with someone, what we call a trigger, as soon as you have an interaction, it's an indication that something is missing.
It's feedback from the body.
Exactly, it's feedback, right? The phrase, the body keeps the score, is true. The body has a record, and it's our job to go under that what is the record showing, and go and explore where it takes us. And most of the time it takes us to childhood memories, and it's in those childhood memories that we learn to understand what was happening, whether there was a missing experience, that there was everything is a missing experience, but what kind of missing experience was missing, right? So in child work is basically that, going into those memories and trying to provide the missing experience, so that there is a sense of completion in your body, there's a sense of integration, so that when you come back to your normal awakening life, you feel what you're experiencing right now. So and then from that place you can make better choices versus from the fear or from the shock. So it's just a different life choice by having awareness of what is on the subconscious.
One of my favorite quotes by Joe Dispenza is, he always says that the body is the subconscious mind. So if you want to access the subconscious mind, understand what's happening in your body. And what was really liberating for me also is that you helped me realize that I'm so much in my head, because when you were asking me like, what is the feeling? I'm like, I think I feel hurt. And you're like, but that's still a mental process. What does the feeling feel like? Like, does it feel like a knot? Does it feel like you're being pulled back? And I'm like, wow, I have to tune in. Like, I haven't even really done that, even though I love tapping. I do a lot of EFT tapping. And one of the processes is actually being aware of what's happening in the body. But again, it's like the surgeon cannot do his own surgery, right? You need to be witnessed by another person.
Absolutely.
And in group, it's even more powerful.
Absolutely, because then you see yourself in everyone, and it's just easier, because that's the other part of our capacity to learn, is that we learn by watching, right? It's the very reason why we have the behaviors that we have, that we learn from our parents or our families, because we watched those and it became part of our normal being. And so when we watch others going through their healing, you're also healing. So that's what is so magical about group healing, as long as it's done correctly, right? Because it could also be going the wrong way. So in the right setting, with the right techniques, it is absolutely an accelerated way to heal yourself, because it feels less threatening, because you're seeing it outside. Like when you see the person outside and you're like, oh yeah, that's me. Somehow it feels for you more at ease. Exactly, right? You feel more at ease, because you're like, oh, but your subconscious is learning us like, oh, that's also me, and so I can allow that to happen. And obviously you do have your own process as well. But again, the idea of group healing is that massive healing happening at the same time, and it's even bigger energy for the group as a group to get all that healing. It's just really powerful stuff. Really, really powerful stuff. So, and Joe Dispenza is correct. The body is the subconscious, or another way that we can call this is literally our spirit that is guiding all of that. And so, the part of us that you don't control, I don't control, but we can tune into and see what is present there. And in this case, we're just looking for sensations that are indicating red flag, red alert, there's a trigger, a light bulb, right? Something is going on, flashing, for us to pay attention, whether that is I disassociate, whether that is like I feel heavy, or I feel empty, or I feel hollow, or I'm shaking, sweating, all kinds of sensations. I mean, hundreds of them.
I mean, that's what I experienced during the breath work that we did, is that it was even difficult for me to share, because I was saying to you that I realize now that these sensations are not attached to words. They're not attached to language. Sometimes they're not even attached to like people and places and things, because there's simply energy that has accumulated within the body. And so during breath work, what I personally felt was this energy that just had to move and had to be released. And when I was complete, I felt like, I don't know what that was about, but I know that that was accumulation of energy that simply did not belong in my body, and it had to be released. And for me, it was like through this guttural voice that I would never consciously make, but the moment that I could feel myself surrender, and I just told myself like, let the body lead, let the spirit lead. And my body just became like a vessel for this energy to just like flow and like move through. And even doing that in a group, at first it was very uncomfortable, but I was like, you know what? Everyone's going through their own processes, and I'm just gonna surrender, and I'm just gonna let go, and it's safe. And that was when I was able to just like drop in, and it was like, oh my God, like everything just started to come out. And I felt so free, and I truly felt like a new person, and that I had a new chance at life. And it was like a new energy came in and was like, wow, that old energy, that old Silkina just like left.
Because what's happening is that while you're trying to control and suppress and resist what is present in the body, you're literally maintaining the pain in the body, right? And so that's just energy. I mean, emotion literally means energy in motion. It needs to move, right? And if you're suppressing the emotions, you're literally restricting your flow of energy, because our energy is constantly moving and it has to flow, right? But when we restrict it, because we don't want to surrender, and we're trying to control how to direct that energy, first of all, we don't have the capacity to do it like that unless you consciously do it. Which is the process of surrendering back to like, I need to be present with that. But if we don't allow the emotions to flow and to continue their evolution, because just like you and I, we're growing, we're having an evolution process, the emotion does too. So it has to continue to go to the next level. So what you do is that when you surrender, you're literally introducing a new vibration to the body. It's almost like a new ingredient in the recipe. Now the recipe can change, right? And so by you surrendering, you allow the flow to be restored, the rhythm to be restored, and what needs to come up will come up. And for you, when you see it and acknowledge and validate it, then it adds a new component, a new ingredient to the recipe, right? You're acknowledging, which feels good, because everything has a vibration. So if you're resistant, the vibration is here. But if you add in acceptance, now you increase the vibration up here. And if you add in validation, you just increase it. If you add in acceptance, you increase it. And that's why it feels so good, because you're literally increasing your vibration and your consciousness by you becoming aware. So it's really an amazing process, but it does take surrendering and eventually
trust.
Absolutely. You have to trust. You have to trust the wisdom that is already in your body.
Right.
Because if you don't, then it's the conscious mind or the ego trying to control everything, but it's the subconscious or unconscious mind, the spirit, basically the one that controls your breath, your heartbeat. Like, you don't do those things. That wisdom knows exactly how to let that process flow, but we just gotta surrender and witness it.
And that's a really important lesson as well, is like trusting that you are not doing this work alone, even energetically. By the way, Norma, like as I'm having this conversation, I feel like the truth operating in my body so strongly. Like, yes, like I just want to take a deep breath, like, oh my God, it's so true. It's so true. And I want everyone to like know this. And what I like what you said during the retreat as well is that everybody is essentially almost like going through similar things, but with different flavors. So it's like, you know, somebody could be a mom and feelings with their child, and I'm not a mom, but I'm looking at her and I'm like, but I'm sort of going through that too. It's just like in a different way. So which is why it's like, you can connect with everyone. Everyone is connected. And when you can work in a group and you hear everyone's stories, which is why I was present for everyone's stories, because I don't care that you're a mom or you're from this background and you live in this country, because it's like, right now we're in a group and there's a purpose for this. And you are my mirror and you are teaching me something.
And our question is to ask is, how am I that person? How am I that person that is right in front of me having this process right now? Because you're right, that the person could be a mom or a father or something, and you're like, how am I that person? And I'd be like, well, I'm denying my reality, or you know what, I am betraying myself. And not necessarily had to be that I am a mom, but I am betraying myself just like the mom is betraying the self, or the father is neglecting himself. Maybe I am neglecting myself. So it's so important, especially when we do group settings, healing. Always ask yourself, how am I that person? So that your subconscious can provide you that question.
And you kept on asking us that, right? It's like, what do you see? How does it feel in your body?
Because you'll see in that, and it's always going to be a reaction here that you have to pay attention to see what is surfacing for me. And by you accessing yet again, you get information. That's literally what shadow means, right? To put light into the dark, which is the light, the light of consciousness into the dark of the unconscious. Carl Jung said it beautifully when he said that as long as you don't put light into the unconscious, you're going to call it destiny, right? Because it is, you're destined to live that truth over and over, that truth that is stored in the body, which is traumatic usually. You're going to live that over and over until you decide to break the cycle by paying attention to that. And in fact, the reason, and I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit longer to answer.
No, please.
The reason why people are stuck in their pain is because they're going into it, but they're resisting it. They don't want to surrender. They don't want to surrender. And if they can only surrender and just say, you know what, this is, all I got to do is just feel, and I just got to let whatever comes up. It's true that we're going to feel uncomfortable emotions, because that's the very pain that we're trying to avoid, right?
Supposed to be.
Yes, but in that moment, what it happens is that because you are an adult exploring this, now you can be the support that the little person inside of you, because it's always going to be an inner child, meaning a memory of you when you were a little kid when that happened. you can provide that love to that child and say, I'm here for you. You're not alone. And that's where the magic happens. For me, I remember the first time I experienced that. I had never in my life felt that kind of love before. And after that, I never felt alone again.
Wow.
After I had that first encounter with that, like, I am here for you, and I think I took the perspective of the child, and I felt that presence, that it was just unconditional. I just felt this love that I could say I tasted love. Up until then, I thought I was in love.
It's like, no, I'm in love with my inner child.
That was the love that I was waiting for. And it was just so beautiful. And after that, yes, I do feel loneliness here and there, but that flavor of loneliness, never again.
Absolutely.
Never again, because I knew that I was not alone. I was not alone.
And what was so illuminating for me was during our private one-on-one session where I had to connect with that inner child and with the protector, which we're going to talk about. But it's like just witnessing the energy of the child and just sort of seeing my inner child and saying, I see your pain. I validate your pain. And I still could feel my protector coming in and be like, but it's not that bad. And then again, I feel like you have to become a little bit of your soul self and that observer where you're like taking the protector's hand and like, let's just sit this one out just for a while and let the inner child feel. And in that split second where my inner child could feel the pain, where I was like, you know what? Yeah, like this thing that happened in my childhood is wrong. And I am hurt. I am in pain. It doesn't matter that it was a soul contract with my dad or my mom or my brother or my aunts and my uncles. It fucking hurts. And I have to feel this hurt. In that moment, I felt immediate relief. Immediate relief, which I had never felt even with EFT tapping, which I think was so interesting because I'm like, oh yeah, like I've, tapped on my inner child and I've accessed this, but that energy work, I was like, wait, no, I have not. And what was interesting too is that, one of our facilitators sort of channeled the pain of the inner child in the group. And when I saw them like broke down and cry, it was exactly the way that I was neglecting me, because I saw that outside of me and I'm like, when is it going to be over? Like, when are you going to stop crying? And I remember that exercise went on for so long, and finally I softened and I went to them and I was able to like, touch them, and like that was sort of how I started to become brave enough to be like, okay, like let me soothe my inner child. But before that I was like, self-soothe yourself, like get over it, stop crying. And I realized that was how I was talking within myself. And so that was like one of the most illuminating activities, because I'm like, wow, like seeing that energy outside. And also like thank you to all the facilitators that was able to channel that energy, because to see that, to channel the collective group sadness and pain and anger, and to see how all of us reacted. And you made a really good observation. I started to move away from the circle and I was like, my back hurts, like I just want to be like against a wall. And you're like, yeah, but you did it specifically at this moment. You moved away. So I moved away from the inner child. And so now I have this awareness and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy.
And the thing is that even though you're like, it's not that bad and all that, the protector, the aspect of ourselves that is trying to avoid seeing the pain, it's just doing it for what is perceived as a good reason for the child. It always has a positive intention, so I don't want to make it wrong, right? And they always have a positive intention as to why. Oh, it's not that bad, or you know what, let's not focus on that, let's focus on these things like that. They have a positive intention, so they're also meeting a need, right? What we need to do is help them, like couples therapy. Help them.
I felt like that.
It's literally what we're doing. Couples therapy inside of yourself.
It's like switching.
Right.
It's like,
a part doesn't want to go. A part wants to be healed, but a part is afraid. A part wants to go to the party. A part doesn't want to go. A part wants to eat that other. It's just that constant split, right?
Yeah.
But each one is meeting a different need. Obviously, the one that is being suppressed is the one that is being neglected, but it still wants to be known and seen, and that's why it comes up. It comes up when you're alone most of the time, because then you have full access. But in the presence of other, it's the protector that is there,
Yes.
right? Most of the time, unless you're doing enough work to where you're more integrated or more authentic, then you'll see that. But if not, you're meeting the mask, what we call the protector, right? The mask, the one that gets you to survive.
Yeah.
But again, they're doing it for a good intention.
Yeah.
It's so important that we don't make them wrong, because those are the parts that carry you all the way here to adulthood. So I like to express gratitude.
Yeah.
I like to feel gratitude
For
because
protector.
those are the ones that got me all the way here. Thanks to those aspects of myself, I survived all those years of abuse or neglect or abandonment or whatever it is, right? The pain. So I love for people to really look at that as this is our protectors, are the parts that just make it through. They're very strong, they're very valuable.
Yeah.
And we just need to teach them how to communicate and care for the other part. Yeah. That's that simple.
So for people that don't really understand, like who is the protector? Who is the suppressor? What is a fragmentation? What is a split? All that
Absolutely.
stuff. These are the shadow work
Questions,
jargons.
right? Yeah, the jargons. That is correct. That is our jargons. So we call protector the part of you that at one moment, let's give an example. Let's say that you're playing, I don't know, singing, dancing, just playing, right? And you're making a little bit more noise than usual. But dad is sleeping in the room. And mom comes and says, stop it. Dad is sleeping. He's going to get upset if you continue making noises. Obviously, in that moment, the child learned something in their body. There's a reaction, right? Because what happened is just a disconnection, a disapproval, right? An emotional disapproval, which is stop playing, stop making noise, because dad is going to get upset and now mom is going to get upset. So you just rupture, right? And in that moment, the child's fun, play, joy, whatever it was happening, most likely fun and play and joy, is going to be associated with trouble. I get in trouble when I play, when I have fun, when I have joy. And so the child learned to suppress that, and suppress that goes to the subconscious.
To survive.
To survive, to maintain connection, to get the approval from mother, so that father doesn't get upset, even though it's not happening yet. It's just a theory that he's going to get upset. But to maintain connection with mom, the child modifies quickly, it splits the self. That's where the fraction happens, because in the moment you feel something in the body, usually, well, as I'm feeling it, I'm like, something like in my stomach, right? And so in that moment, if parents don't approach that correctly, could it have been approached in a different way? But most of the time, that's not what we get. We get this reaction, right? The moment the child splits, and obviously the desire to play, to have fun, to have joy goes away, because now it's associated with it is wrong to have that. And instead, I'm going to adapt to modify my behavior, my whatever that is, which is most likely stay quiet in this case, right?
Yeah.
Stay quiet, don't take action, or go sit on the couch, things like that. That's what we call the protector. It protected me from getting in trouble by adapting and then displaying the new behavior, the one that is approved, because this one was just made wrong. That's why we call protectors. The protector is the one that's going to take the job of keeping you safe by complying with what is requested in the moment. And so the inner child then becomes the part that you disconnected from, in this case, joy, fun, play, and it goes to the subconscious, and it's not gone forever, it's just suppressed. But when you're alone and no one is there, you desire to have fun, you desire to enjoy life, you desire to have joy and pleasure and all that stuff. And I'll think about it, in that moment, oh, it's just play. It seems like it's just play, but when you grow up, how much you allow yourself to enjoy pleasure, not only physical, sexual, emotional, all kinds of pleasure, or even celebrating your own successes, because you're not allowed to have that pleasure. I mean, it affects every area of your life, whether that is family, romantic, business, careers, health in some cases. So that's why it's so important that we go to those memories and end that and integrate the child so that we can enjoy life, have pleasure.
Yeah, because I mean, the energy has to go somewhere. That's sort of like the job of the protector, is helping us adapt in situations where we feel like we have to be like this to survive. And I think one of the most powerful thing that you said too is, you know, when that facilitator was channeling our energy and you asked them like, how old are you? And they're like 3. And I mean, what you said was so simple, but it kind of blew my mind because you were like, it's normal for a 3-year-old to be soothed.
Of course.
3-year-olds don't need to self-soothe. And so my reaction of wanting them to just be like, get over it. Like, why are you crying? Was so interesting because I don't think that I was ever soothed as a child, right? So even when I went back to my memory, like what truly made me feel safe was just sitting on my dad's lap and being held.
Exactly.
And that was the moment where I felt like, wow, that's all I needed.
Yes.
You know, and it ties back to what we were talking about. Like, I never really liked physical touch because I'm like, don't touch me, like it's so uncomfortable. Like everyone in my family always knows, like, Selena hates hugs. But what I realized is I actually do like physical touch. And tell me how I shifted, like, through this retreat. And even my friend Racham, which you guys know, was like, you've never touched me this much in my entire life, in our like years of friendship. But I was just like hugging her, and I'm like, I just want to be close to you. You know what I mean? I was hugging everyone. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. I actually want physical touch, and I don't mind it. But it's a part that I guess I suppressed. Because in a way I'm like, but if you touch me, then you're getting too close, right? And also I was working on vulnerability, like being okay to feel vulnerable, and for people to see like, Selena, you're not perfect, right? Like you feel feelings, you feel emotions, and that's okay. But I never wanted people to see that, oh, I'm working through things because I just have it all together and I'm okay because I'm responsible and I'm independent and I know how to take care of myself. But it's like, no, actually, I want support. I want to be held. And that memory, like just being held by my dad was like, wow, that's all I needed, right? And when you work on your past, like what you said, it's quantum healing because you're shifting the whole timeline of the present, the future. Like you're literally like, zzz, like everything is like changing.
Yes, exactly, which is the beauty of this. That's why whenever we really do, just by closing your eyes, you're already shifting into another dimension. And so when we stay in that dimension, it connects us as far as wherever the child is at. It's just literally quantum healing, timelines.
Timeline shifting. I thought I knew timeline shifting, but when I did this work, I was like, no, this is quantum shifting.
This is quantum healing.
So it's not just about visualizing forward, but it's like, no, let's revise that memory, like what happened, and let's have a better outcome. And that changes the timeline.
And that's why during the healing process, you also visualize the going forward, right? Because what you're doing is, yes, you're receiving the hug or you're receiving the cuddling or whatever it is, but you go into the perspective and feel it and taste it and become it, right? And so that's where it creates the magic on it. And yet again, we're doing, and literally in that moment, you're past, present, future, because in that moment you are the adult, the child, and so you're literally changing in those perspectives.
I felt that physically in my body. It was like, ooh, protector, and it's like inner child, and I was like fighting within myself. And it's so interesting because my body language like shifts within seconds when I'm the protector, when I'm the inner child, when I'm the protector, and you know, our facilitator was like, you literally looked different. And my eyes were closed, and it's like the way your eyes move and everything was different. And I'm like, this is literally energy work in the body.
Because it is. When you fragment yourself, a part of you is like removing from you. So it becomes like a little ghost. Right? So it's energy just floating. And the only way that energy can transmute or transcend is by coming back into the vehicle that allows that to happen. And that is the body. And so that's why we do that. We have to go through that, bring that energy back in and be present, validated, and all that. And in that moment, it's shifting, transcending. And then at that point, the magic happens, right? So it's really powerful stuff. I can't stop saying that.
Oh my God, I've said that. And again, I'm going to share another powerful moment was right after I did that private session, even though we were working in a group, but there are like one-on-one sessions as well with facilitators. I broke a glass. And as that was the exact day where you said, I really want to break this glass so I can show you guys what a fragment and a split looks like. Because you're a glass and then it breaks and you're like those little pieces of glass. And after that work, I came down and I needed to use the bathroom, did not see there was a glass under me, kicked it, and the way that it broke into like, perfect 3-piece and then little pieces. I looked at you and I was like, Norma, there's your glass.
Yeah,
it
was,
broke.
You know that was your glass, right?
Yeah.
It was right on your seat.
That was my glass. I didn't even realize that. That was literally my glass on my seat.
Yes,
and it broke, and I was like, I interpreted that as that was the pattern breaking.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm literally getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this because I'm like, this worked. And also yesterday when we were ecstatic dancing, this bracelet from it's like a family heirloom, it literally broke. Yeah, and I put it back together. But it's like, it fell the moment that I was thinking about my family lineage.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is why you call it cycle breaking, right? And we call ourselves cycle breakers because if we want to talk about spirituality and like going higher, which by the way, my audience are all spiritual. So we talk about star seeds and spirit guides and like angels. So it's like when you look at that aspect, right? And tell me if you agree with this, but it's like we have been, our souls came to this lineage for a reason.
Yes. I mean, absolutely. That's what I was saying. And that's where we have to be careful to make sure that we don't use those spiritual truths to deny ourselves and then make it a spiritual bypassing, right? Because that also is also traumatic for the child. But yes, there is a moment in which by you validating and by you doing all that you're going into those spiritual truths, and those truths can be helpful because, for example, let's say that this pattern has been across through generations, right? Where they suppress their excitement, their happiness, and they had to keep quiet. And that's generation after generation. And you're the one that is integrating and bringing the joy back and bringing the fun back, and you just break the cycle. But what happens is that when you start looking at a family pattern as a family pattern, it kind of helps to soothe your pain. It makes you more like capable, like, oh, I got a mission, right? And so it creates more of a willingness to go and do the work because now you see yourself kind of like a rescuer for the whole family.
Yeah.
So it adds power to your healing, but it has to happen at the right moment. But if you start with that at the beginning, that would be a spiritual bypassing the child. And
I did that.
Yeah, so you had to start by going deep first before you can access those truths from higher dimensions, which are important. All of them are real.
So true.
Just like past, present, and future, everything's coming together at the same time, right? The same thing here. Those truths are for each one of those dimensions, and they're coexisting. But if you bring a truth, which happens a lot, they bring a spiritual truth from the 12th dimension into the 3rd dimension, and that creates more pain. Versus, you know what, let that dimension be there, let that truth be there, I can access this truth, let me process this, and then once I am in a better state, I can access that truth, and that truth meets me here versus meeting me here. Yeah. So yes, I mean, this is very, very spiritual work, by the way.
Yes.
Absolutely, because you also maintain the perspective of the observer.
Yes.
Right. You go into the child, the adult, the observer. Child, adult, the observer.
Powerful,
and so that's what makes it the Trinity, right?
Yes.
The Trinity, mind, body, spirit. It's always the same thing. Yeah. So you're always in the triad.
Yes.
And so that's what makes it more complete on top of that.
Yeah.
Because not only are you breaking integrating the two parts, the protector and the child, right? The father and the son, that's another way to see it. It's the symbolics, it's all over the place. You just have to understand them. So this is very spiritual work because this symbology is greeting in every culture, every religion has it. It's just that we don't see it, in religions, they see it from religious perspective, but when you see it from this inner healing perspective, you always have the key up there. It's just, can I understand it?
Yes.
Can I understand that those were allegories that I need to translate and interpret to my own journey? Because that's what that is. This is a personal journey that we just process of putting ourselves together again, literally, piece by piece.
Yeah, and we've been talking so much about the power of shadow work, and it seems like collectively this is what is needed. But why do you think people avoid shadow work? And what do you think are the biggest misconceptions about shadow work that perhaps really makes people feel like, I don't want to do this?
Wow, there's so many ways to answer that question. But the first thing that comes to my mind as that is we live in a society, in a world that has made wrong emotions, what we call negative emotions. We made them wrong and we try to avoid them as much as we can. Like, for example, anger, right? Anger has been made wrong in the world by literally every culture.
Yeah.
But anger has a purpose. Everything has a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Fear has a purpose, anger has a purpose, sadness has a purpose. And it's when we don't know the purpose, or we don't allow the purpose of like your purpose, right?
Yeah.
Every emotion has a purpose, just like my purpose.
Totally.
Because we make them wrong, we create more pain. And because we create more pain and we don't know how to deal with it, there is a lot of conflict in the world. That's one of the answers. The other one is because we're not emotionally mature or educated. Unfortunately, it's also a generational thing. Our generation, or this new generation, and I can say even my generation because I started only 15 years ago, but I'm part of the old generation which has educated and understand a little bit more to help others, right? But the newest generations, because they're hearing these shadow word phrases and it's part of the reality, it was not part of the reality of our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Our ancestors' reality, I mean, it's only, we're talking about only 50 years ago. The reality from 50, 60 years ago, my mother is 74, her reality was different than mine. So we had to consider what was happening culturally, what was happening globally at that time of our parents, of our grandparents, and that's the reality.
Yeah.
So during the war, people is not gonna sit down and go into the inner child, right? They're gonna survive. So we have to also have compassion for that. Because we're not here to blame the parents, you guys. That's so important, we understand that. A lot of people think that, oh my God, if you do inner child healing, you're gonna blame the parents. You're going to acknowledge that the child had pain. You are going to acknowledge that in order for that pain to happen, there were mistakes made. But we're not here to destroy families. We're not here to blame the parents. We're here to validate the child.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so a lot of people don't like doing this because they think
They
I'm
feel
going to make
scared
my
too.
parents wrong.
Yeah,
And-
like what if they already held their parents to such a standard and they're like, but I don't want to see my parents in a bad light.
Yeah, yeah, but by doing that, and again, I tell people the focus is not on the parents, the focus is on the child. Can you see that it hurt when the child scratched the knee? Can you see that it hurt when the child was in bed crying and no one came?
Yes.
Right? That's what we're here to see.
Yeah.
We're not here to vilify the parents. We're not here to make enemy of them. No, we're here to see
never.
the inner child. We're here to validate the aspect of yourself that needed something and it didn't get it. It couldn't get it. Right? And so we're here to connect with yourself.
What is the inner child? Because I have met people who are like, I'm an adult. Like, there's no child within me. Like, my child grew up. So for people that don't understand, what is the inner child? Who is the inner child? And how can an inner child live within us?
It's your subconscious. It's your spirit. It's the same part. It's the part of you that is innocent. The part of you needs to be taken care of. The part of you that wants to rest. The part of you that wants to play. It's the part that you suppress, basically. Right? In the moment that you split, you went with something and you're disconnected from something. That becomes your inner child. And it's always, always there.
Yeah.
Always there.
And I guess at the end of it, it's energy.
It
It's
is.
energy that is
Absolutely.
within your body that accumulated when you were young.
Yes, but it's so important because this is another truth that could be used as a spiritual bypassing. Yes, it is energy. In fact, we are energy. We were energy before we decided to create a physical body.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, yes, we are energy. When you think of different higher dimensions, you're like, absolutely, we're energy.
Yeah.
But it's that consciousness, that energy that decided to create a physical experience, the progression, the evolution of that energy is to materialize. And how do we materialize? We have a physical body.
Yeah.
You see that energy anywhere in the planet is energy that materializes in different forms, in trees, in animals, in bugs, in rocks. It's the different fabric. Sounds crazy. But it is an
Nature.
energy, right? It's an energy that is materializing because there is expansion in the next creation. In fact, one of the books on earth, one of the famous books on earth says that man was the greatest creation, right? There's the reason why is because it's the next level of evolution from the energy perspective.
Yes.
It's the materialization of that energy that can only experience life through this body. I mean, this is the reason why ghosts possess people, right? Because they cannot experience what they want to experience unless they have a physical body. So yes, this is very spiritual work. And yes, it is energy. However, because the physical body feels it, the brain translates it and sends the signals and sends the messages, it needs to be processed in the body.
100%.
It needs to be processed in the body.
Yeah.
And that's why we attune to the body, to the sensations.
Yeah. And I think another important aspect is if somebody has gone through traumatic childhood, right? And I know that Gabrielle Bernstein talks about little T trauma and big T trauma. So for somebody that's watching this and they've had such a traumatic childhood, no matter what it was, and they say, but I can't remember my childhood. So if I cannot remember memories from my childhood, can I still do inner child work?
Absolutely.
Can I access inner child work?
Yes. Yes. The very fact that you don't remember is an indication of how much trauma there is, right? Because why would you not want to remember? The reason why we don't remember is because the subconscious, in order to protect us yet again, it holds it until you're ready to see it. And so how do you know that you're ready? You begin to feel the sensations in the body. So that's the door that we're going to enter to access those memories. A lot of people develop a conditional relationship with their healing, expecting a memory. You don't have to have a memory if you feel it in the body. You cannot deny the feeling of a knot in your throat. You cannot deny the feeling of feeling floaty or feeling shaky. It's there. If you can just accept that that is there and that is real, and you don't have to have proof, like a memory, and you can just give presence to that, you start there, and little by little, you get more and more and more, and eventually you get the whole picture, because that's the other thing you have to remember. We have 5 senses. We have more, but for the sake of humanity, we have 5 senses.
Yeah.
We receive information all the time, right?
Yeah.
And we're only processing so much, but it's coming from all directions. Sounds, smells, tastes, everywhere.
Yeah.
The brain stores that information in different parts of the brain. Visual, sensories, actions, locomotory, hearing, auditories, right? Visuals, I mean, everything. It breaks down, like, I don't know how many I mentioned already. All you have to do is access one. Start there. Access one of those data points that create a memory, because a memory has physical sensations, has smells, has auditories, has like a taste, a flavor, a smell, something with it. Right? That's why when you're walking on the street and you smell fresh baked cookies, you're like, reminds me of grandma.
Yeah.
Because that smell immediately created a connection.
Memory.
Exactly. So the exact same thing happens here. So no, you don't have to have a memory. Because there's always something available, which is a somatic sensation that will make that connection. And you don't have to do it, the subconscious does it.
Like I said, with my experience, after I released during the breath work, which by the way was very hard for me, like you were looking at me, you were like, come on, surrender.
Give it a try.
And I feel like I still didn't really go through like that breath work process of like that breath of fire, but I just stayed with it. I just stayed with the breath, and I was like, you know what? I just trust that this process is going to let me go deep. And when I finally got there and I released it and I came out, I was like, I don't know what memory I just released. I have no clue, but I just know that the body released energy. And that's good enough for me.
And you felt the difference. So
immediately.
In some cases you'll have a visual, some cases you don't, because
you can't force that.
Exactly. It is, think of it this way. It's like, if I am your subconscious, can I trust you? Can I trust you? If I am the inner child, can I trust you to show you all of my pain, or can I give you a little bit at a time and see how do you react?
Yes.
Right? So you have to earn the trust of that. Why? Because in a sense, we already betray ourselves by neglecting ourselves, right? So especially when we neglect ourselves, we're constantly betraying ourselves. You have to establish a relationship of trust with the inner child. And so in that case, it's like, can you sit with the sensation, whatever sensation is it? Can we start there? And if you already no, unless you give me a picture, then you're putting a condition into that relationship. It's no different than telling a boyfriend, unless you do this, I cannot be with you. Versus, you know what? I mean, obviously in some cases you need boundaries, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I'm using for the sake of the example of, we always put a condition to love somebody. So we just had to end the conditioned relationship we have with ourselves, so that we can really access those truths, and then more truths will come. And it's just, you have to think of it like an onion. You peel one layer, there's another layer, there's another layer, and little comes. For example, a lot of people think they're afraid because They're like, oh, there's grief. Okay, we'll feel the grief.
Yeah.
And after the grief, we're like, oh, now I'm anger. And they think they're regressing or they're getting worse. And it's
Yes.
actually no, because all of that was there. You're just peeling it and it's surfacing. So healing is happening because it's rising.
Oh,
But it's
yes.
also painful because it's the next layer. So you had to see it like an onion that
Yes.
multiple things are happening. Just coming up, the pain or the flavor of the pain. But at the same time, because you're peeling, both the things are happening together. I'm releasing and more is surfacing, right? So if you can
So-
sit with that,
Yeah,
it
so
accelerates it.
that's what Resham actually made me realize, because when I was like, I guess I've never done this. Like, I guess I've just, never healed this part of me. And she's like, no, you did. This is just another layer.
Exactly.
And so all the tapping that you did, all the meditations that you did, all the times you sat still with yourself and you breathed through pain, that was an aspect
Yeah.
of you healing. That was one layer of that healing. So it's not like all the things you did didn't matter. It actually brought you here. And the reason
Exactly.
why I was able to access that memory was because, like you said, it started stacking
Layers,
up,
yeah.
and it's just closer to the surface. So
Yeah.
no meditation or no energy work or no tapping is a waste of time.
No, not at all. And I want to make sure that that we make that very clear. All the modalities help. It all of them help, right? It helps to where you are in the moment that you receive the help.
Yeah.
Right? Because imagine if you're like, have this belief the pills work,
Yeah.
and I come and I put my belief no pills do not work. I
Yeah.
just do a disservice to you, because if you have that belief, they're gonna work for you, right? So we always have to make sure to know where are you at. If you think tapping is gonna work, then you better go for that, because that's the belief already, right?
Correct.
And so you have to go for where you're at. Shadow work, by the way, obviously I want everyone to do it, but I usually the people that come to me
Yeah.
is when they had tried everything else and still
Yes.
pain is there, and they're like, I really need to find an answer. I'm like, I have the answer. This is it.
Yeah.
But could I have it right away in the first choice? Absolutely. We
Yeah.
had one participant like never done any kind of, and she chose this to be that choice. I'm like, amazing.
love that, though.
Amazing,
Yeah.
right? Any kind of healing before? Nothing. And this is the
Plunge
choice. I'm like,
right in.
perfect. You go deeper and faster.
Yeah.
And it's just, the way I look at it is like, you can take 6 years, or you can take one session.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. And I think what Resham said was so powerful too. It's like, when you get into the mental side of things, does it work? Of course it does.
Yeah,
but
for
if
the
you
mental
want,
body.
Yeah, but if you want a shortcut,
Yeah.
and also if you want it to last
Yeah.
a long time, like you not only just want to receive a manifestation like one time, like a little text, or like, oh, I want to go on a date with this guy or whatever. Like that all works. You can visualize that and do all that stuff, because it's, again, this is all fun work. But when we're talking about long-term stability, long-term wealth, long-term healthy relationship, I don't think, or I don't feel that you can actually bypass the body. You have to go to the body.
Yeah, because in that part of your body, in the suppressed part, you have truth. The other half of your truth, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna find your boundaries. You're gonna find your worth, your value. You're gonna
Yeah.
find so much more that it will complement what you already know from your protectors, from your adaptations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just makes you more whole. And from, I mean, think about it. If you had, let's say, for those of you that have problems with money, right? Yeah, you can visualize all the manifestation, but if inside of you, there is a belief that having money is bad, or having money disconnects you from the family, or disapproves you from your family, or having money makes you an evil person, whatever, right? Then no matter how much visualization you're doing, it's not going to change the vibration that you hold, which is connected to the belief. So you had to go to, where did I find a belief? You had to change that. Obviously, you adapted a belief to survive.
Yes.
That's the other part.
Yes.
We adapted a belief to survive. For example, I discovered that actually with me
Yeah.
in worth. I removed my self-worth in the womb, right? When I went into the memory, it was in the womb. My mother worked as a maid at that time, and she was going to get fired for being pregnant, right? And so she felt unworthy of that situation, of the job, and so I removed my worth to be accepted. Because in the moment she feels unworthy, imagine me coming alive and I'm like so worthy, and you feel unworthy. how would we have that if you were my mom?
Yeah.
Right? It wouldn't match because I would be a constant reminder of how miserable you are.
Yes.
If I feel amazing and worthy. So what I did is I decided, in that moment, I split and removed my worth to maintain that connection and feel close to her.
Yeah.
Because I had to be at the same level as mom. Yeah?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, is it a bad decision? No, it was to belong, right?
Yeah.
But for years, it took me years. In fact, I only found the memory less than a year ago. Years and years and years until I was able to have access to that. And so then in the moment, you just bring the worth back, right? And then you say you don't have to remove that. Anyways, that's a whole inner child processing.
Yeah.
But my point is that we always do it. We do it because there is a benefit for us when we adapt,
Absolutely.
right? So if you're having problems with money, ask yourself what's the benefit, or what did removing money from my life create or did for me, because I am adapting to meet one of my needs. And most of the time, it always ends in connection, because at the basic, that's our most basic need. But connection through what? Through belonging, connection through approval, connection to praise, connection to, there's some sort of connection. So find out, and then only then you have to be willing to lose that to heal that one. Because you can be visualizing, trying to manifest, and it doesn't happen is because you're not willing to lose that benefit.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not, you're like, as an adult, you're like, but I don't care about that anymore. Yeah, the adult, but the child still holds to that belief. So that's why you had to go to childhood and remove that in childhood. Yeah.
A lot of my audience come into my world because particularly they want to manifest a person, or they want to manifest a relationship, or they come into my world very similarly like you as well. It's like, I've done all the tapping and I've done all the affirmations, and I thought all we had to do was, get into repetition, right? Because a lot of people out there are like, just repeat it. Just repeat affirmations. Put them on your phone and look at yourself in front of the mirror and just tell yourself all these things. And so a lot of the audience in my world is, they really come from that law of attraction community, right? They're like, I desire this and I want to manifest this, and I've done everything, so why isn't it happening, right? So how do you see shadow work supporting manifestation? Because I don't think a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah. Ooh, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Love that.
Oh my God, there's so many ways to answer this question. But let's just start with, everything is vibration. Everything is vibration. So when you're saying why I don't have it, the vibration is lack. I don't have it.
Lack, yeah.
So by the law of attraction, if I am vibrating in absence and I don't have it, my reality has to be that. So I have to change the vibration for the thing to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have to have the vibration of abundance. I have to have the vibrations of happiness, if that's what I want. I have to have the vibration of the connection or the romantic relationship, whatever it is that you're working with. Yeah. As long as you say, I don't have it, because you're aware of that, that's the state of being that you're in, that means you're in absence, right? So yet the mirror has to reflect to where you're at.
Yes.
So first you have to go there and say, well, if I would have it, why would that be so bad?
Yeah.
Right? And why did I ask, why would it be so bad? It's because clearly, vibrationally, you already made it wrong to have it. That's why you don't have it. Right?
Yes.
So you had to go find, where did I learn that it was not okay to have that? Or where would I learn that it was not safe to have that? Again, everything goes around safety, right? The reason why we split is because we don't feel safe. Just like the example that I did with mom and the playing and the child removing the joy or the fun, because that moment where mom says, oh, be quiet, or dad gonna be upset, in that moment you don't feel safe because you feel rejected, right? You made fun and pleasure wrong. But the same thing happened here. So anything that you want to manifest, if you're not having it, it's because there has to be an aspect of you that thinks or believes or feels that having it is wrong or unsafe. So you have to go back to that. So you can start with, no different than what we do with the inner processes, right? You always go start with the body. When you think of having it,
how does it feel?
How does it feel? And that's the direction that you lead or follow to find out where did I learn this, right?
And let the body lead.
And let the body lead. And then you do the inner healing. So it's the same thing, but you have to start there, right?
Yeah.
And so until you change the vibration, no matter how many times you repeat it, what you're doing is you're increasing the vibration that you're in, the absence, because you're becoming more and more aware. I don't have it, 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 I don't have it. And the vibration gets bigger. And because you don't have it, it gets bigger. Now the reality has to be even bigger. That's when you start losing your money, losing your house, losing your car, losing whatever else that is around that, because you're increasing that every time you become aware. Just like I have it increases the awareness. I have it, I have it, I have it, I have it, more comes. Because I have it, I have it, I have it is your bubble. Right, it's your vibration. So start there. Start recognizing that you're vibrating in lack, not having it. So you had to go find a memory where you learned that it's not safe to have it. Secondly, you do have to get in the state of mind of having it, feeling it, tasting it. It's so funny. Recently in Las Vegas, I think it was in July, a group of my friends and I went to the mountain. We did a hike, right? The signs say the waterfall. After visiting waterfalls here is like, that's not a waterfall. That's like
the waterfall
like
in
a
Bali?
little tiny thing, right? I was like laughing. We joke about it today. Oh, I'm sorry, side joke. But anyways, side off of that. We did it on the way up. We're like, well, let's do a manifestation, because we're talking about all these ideas and everything. Well, let's do a manifestation visualization around abundance, right? And we're just sitting there. We're like probably 20 minutes in the mountain, just visualizing and going through the abundance process and all that. And like, okay, we're ready, because we also were resting, because we were like tired of going up. And we're literally just sitting down, and we come out of that. And like, okay, let's continue. And a person coming down from the waterfall, which is a joke, that waterfall it is, literally comes and he gives us a flyer in the shape of $1. But it had literally $1 million, each one of us. I still have it in my wallet.
Got goosebumps.
And it was just so amazing that it happened literally as we finished the abundance visualization meditation. Each one of us got $1 million in a little bill. Like it was just my body was like, oh my God, this is how quick that worked. And
how quick it's being reflected in your reality. And I also love that you keep referring to this external reality as a mirror, because that's something that I've been talking about a lot as well. It's like, we live in an energetic and a mental universe first, which means that everything is just mirroring what is happening within your body. This is the last physical manifestation. This thing is like, you know, this lived in somebody's head first. It started as a concept first. It started as an idea first. And then this is the last physical manifestation. And if you want to change this, you got to, again, go back here.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So it's like, that's how I always tell people. I'm like, what you're seeing outside is the physical manifestation of what has been happening within. So if you want to change something, and especially, Norma, I feel like a lot of people in my audience feel this need to control people. It's like, people are not treating me the way that I want to be treated, and they go external. They're like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why don't you treat me this way? And it's like, but they're reflecting your energy within. So if you want a shortcut, and, you know, does it work when you actually nag people long enough? Yeah, could be. Maybe someday they're like, you know what, fine. But again, they're going to default back to who they are. And if you want a shortcut, how about just go within, change your frequency, change your energy, and that person will just conform. Right? It is you first. And this is what people call self-concept work, which is you change the conception of yourself and of the world.
Because again, you have to go back to the inner world, right? To the work that you have within yourself, the two parts that are fighting or split or disagreeing of what you want. And so there's a very strong part that is wanting to control, yet again, because things that or feels that control keeps you safe. It's always around safety. Always around safety. So if you feel unsafe by losing control, right, you're gonna try to control everything, but clearly every person has their own conscious decisions, will power, right? and they're going to exercise it. So us trying to control, we are automatically in a loose.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. It's insane how quickly we're going to lose control because you're your own being.
Yeah.
You have your own thinking, your own feelings, and I cannot have power over you. Even if I try, I cannot. It has to be your free will, your choice, and only when that is that we get to have a better relationship.
Yeah.
And so the reason why they get so frustrated because you
Because they want to change people.
yeah, but you're automatically at a lose
Yes.
case.
Yeah.
Because you do not have the power to control anyone.
Yeah. And I think at the end of it, again, I go back to Joe Dispenza a lot because I do his work a lot. But
We actually went to the same school.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wait, what's her name again?
Rantha?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the thing that he says also is what you said about lack and separation. It's like if you feel like you're separate from that thing or like the person that has that thing, then you're never gonna actually have that thing because you deem it unsafe. And so his work is mostly you become the identity of the person that just simply has it or is simply believing this, right?
The vibration.
Yeah. And then you just realize that manifestation is actually not even about outcomes, but it's about becoming.
Yeah, it's about a state of being.
It's a process of, there you go. It's a state of being. It's not, like you said, right? If you think tapping works, it's gonna work. It's not the tapping, it's your belief.
It's your state of being.
It's your state of being. Like if you believe that that is going to get you into a certain state of you having that desire of that, or that, you know, the person with that identity, then it is going to work. Like this is really like this is an energetic work, and including inner child, because you are dissolving a lot of those false beliefs and
but again, those beliefs keep you safe.
Correct. So they're not wrong.
Well, hold on. They keep you safe, but in a false way.
Right. Exactly.
Because
the false
they keep you
belief.
safe for a little while, but the reality is that you're not, because you're still in pain or you're still suffering because you don't have the thing that you want, right?
Yeah.
So it's in your best interest to go explore what is there.
Yeah.
Why am I pushing it away, or why am I vibrationally pushing it away? It's because at one point it kept you safe to push that away. So you had to reverse that.
Yeah.
You had to go in and basically help the child know that it's no longer necessary, because you're no longer that child. You're an adult that is capable of either speaking, approaching people, asking, receiving, or even doing it yourself, right? So yeah, you just had to go and almost, because the protectors, by the way, as much as we say, oh, I'm an adult, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Exactly.
They're children.
Yes.
And that's why
when
interesting. Because that's why someone, when you're arguing with someone, will you usually say, well, why are you behaving like a child?
Oh, yeah.
It's because they are.
Yeah.
A protector is a child pretending to be an adult.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And also, Norma, I think what's really powerful is what I learned from the retreat is the power of nature. Like we've been in this space where, by the way, in front of us is just like beautiful jungle, right? It's like nature. And like what made me emotional towards the end too, and I mean, wow, I cried so much.
We all did.
And I remember like one of the participants was like, did you cry during your one-on-one? I was like, yes. And she's like, yes. Because I was looking at you the whole time and I could feel that you wanted to cry, but your protector is like, it's okay, Silkina. Don't cry. You're good. It's not that bad. Yeah. But I finally broke down. But anyway, like what made me really emotional towards the end is that nature speaks. Like I'm noticing that I've been, you know, twirling these two flowers, and I kind of feel like, because I channel a lot of energy in my hands, and I feel like even in this conversation, nature has been a part of us.
Yes.
Right? Like maybe this flower has been speaking through me as well. Right? Like I kind of went out, and I think like one of the most beautiful stories that we heard is that two people in our circle literally started their spiritual awakening from turtles. Like
I know.
They literally was just present with the turtles, swam with the turtles, and
received the message.
Received the message.
My husband,
do
right
this.
There, that tree right there by the pool, right there. He was there, wondering not too long ago.
Yeah.
He was wondering about powers, right? And the tree, the banana tree, say, is infinite power. we didn't know how banana trees grow until that day, because we're like, what does that even mean? The banana tree told you the infinite power is his power. Infinite reproduction, not infinite power, infinite reproduction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? And I had to literally Google, how does banana trees produce and reproduce? And they literally do that. One tree has to die, drops the seed or the plant or the flower. Right now I don't remember the exact.
Yeah.
And the next tree is growing, and it's never ending. It's a cycle, right?
Amazing.
And so my husband, that was his way of connecting to the plants for the first time. I do it all the time.
Yes. Oh my God. Norma is like intuitive.
I mean, it's a vibrational thing. Yet again,
Correct.
you're just vibrating, and the vibration comes, and you just receive the information, because we're constantly receiving information. That's what I mean. Like, we don't have 5 senses; we have more.
Cicadas are so loud.
Yeah, like really, like
They're like yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Right?
Cicadas like
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And,
wow. Yeah.
right?
Everything communicates.
And yes, that's it. Everything communicates, and it's so important to like put your phone down.
Yes.
And actually go out.
Except
take
when you
walk.
watch us.
Yes. Actually, take your phone outside and watch us.
And show it to your friends.
Literally, share this video. But from time to time, like literally, look at the tree. Like look at it. Like one of the most powerful thing too, because we did like an inner child. I've said that like for every activity. No, it was a powerful thing. Powerful thing. But we had an activity like after our one-on-one where we had to draw like what our inner child looks like. And Resham drew like this beautiful tree that had sunlight streaming in. Yes. And the thing that I did, the first thing after that whole energy work, I went out, and what I saw was sunlight streaming through the trees. And I didn't tell her this because I was just having like my own moments. And you know, I also loved that like everyone just kind of left me to it. Like I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to go out there, look at the trees, and I just wanted to like feel it. And the image that I had was like sunlight beaming through these leaves. And then I saw her next to me doing that. I'm like, that was my image. Yeah. And also the person that was with me during the one-on-one, we essentially drew the same thing. Like our inner child looked the same. We even used the same colors. And I was like, and she wasn't even sitting next to me. I didn't see her art. She was like on the other side. And we kind of looked at each other like, oh my God, you also have a rose. Like you have a flower. It's also pink. There's green also, and there's yellow. But we were the only 2 people that had flowers. Everyone else just looked different and the same color. So it again goes back to like, everything is vibration. We are all connected. And we're always receiving messages. We're always receiving signs, you know, because people are like, but I've asked my spirit guides for a sign and it's not there. And I'm like, open, you know, like be open.
And interesting, because even your spirit guides, it's just you in another dimension. It's just a version of you that has, again, because you already made it. You think we're going on the way somewhere. No, we already got there. We already created it all. We're just living that creation.
Oh my God.
So it's us, just in different levels of consciousness.
So it's really just us guiding us back to us. Like I always think like my biggest activator, like, you know, my ex-boyfriend that hurt me so deeply. It's like, I start to look at him and I'm like, you are me. You are me calling me back to me. And you are just an aspect of me. And you have reminded me where I have rejected myself. So I'm reminding myself that I rejected myself. And so I am reminding me to come back to me. Because everyone is just mirroring me.
It's a mirror.
So it's really me.
It's yourself externalized. You just have to look at the mirrors, right? And start seeing, how am I the person? How am I the person? What information is being reflected that I can or want to process and integrate, right? So everything is us. And so, but even our spirit guides, just
That's
it's
amazing,
us. It's always well, if you believe in oneness, everything is you, come from different places, right? But it's so important we know we already made it through. We created all the potentials already. We're just coming to experience them. You're just connecting to that the next
timeline.
I mean, it's no different than a person. Let's say this is a phone, right? Someone designed thought, visualized that first.
Yeah.
And then they went and gathered the components to make it a reality.
Yeah.
But it started with a thought. It started with an idea, and
Yeah.
then they came and draw it, and they figured out the science behind it and all that. It's no different than us. It's the same thing. Us, ourselves, we did that. We created this amazing picture of a life, even if that life was pain, right? Obviously, telling that to someone who's in the middle crying would be abusive.
Yes.
But yet, that's one of those truths that belongs to the 12th dimension that we can use when we're talking in the 12th dimension.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of the pain and I tell you that, oh, you created that, that would be really unattuned and it will feel dismissive to your pain.
Yeah.
Right? So be careful of using those spiritual truths. But in the context of the conversation, that being that we are at has awareness of everything, and that being finds value in coming to this life through the family tree to experience that type of trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that true belongs there. As long as you're in pain and you need the medicine, that will be spiritual bypassing. But if you need the medicine, then the medicine is you need a hug. You need the acknowledgement, you need the coziness, you need whatever it is pressing in the moment.
Yeah.
Only when you have integrated that, then you can use that truth to add more to your experience.
Yeah. And I like how you kept on saying, like, at the end of it, it just goes back simply to safety. And I remember that, like, in my memory of me and my dad, it just, like, at the end of it, I just wanted to be held, you know? Like, I just wanted to sit on his lap and him holding me, and that signifies safety.
Yeah.
And so really, I guess shadow work is nervous system regulation work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And it is about, and nervous system regulation work is what? Creating safety within the body. And I liked also that we explored so many different things, right? We had art therapy, we had singing and chanting,
dancing.
and that also related to the vagus nerve, that, you know, the humming and the singing and the chanting. So really, we just had 4 days of deep nervous system regulation, rewiring.
Exactly. That's what we do. We rewire.
To create safety.
Yeah. Yeah, and we rewire for the mental, emotional, physical, and the spiritual body. Each one of them was addressed.
And I loved how we incorporated all the elements, Norma. We had
yes.
fire.
Yes.
We were literally doing a gratitude circle
In the pool.
with our clothes and water. We just jumped in. We have, you know, like earth.
Yeah.
We had everything. And obviously air, because we had incense.
Absolutely.
We're doing Palo
And we
Santo.
did
We're doing
breath
sage.
work. Every
Breath
element
work.
is, you have to, because every element exists in your body. So you're always supported. You just have to recognize that it's there.
Yeah. So just to wrap this up, right? A lot of the people in my field also, like, they're just desperate to know if I want to be in a healthy relationship. Like, I'm so tired of repeating this pattern and repeating this loop. Like, how can I start attracting healthy, emotionally available people? Like, what truly is the first step now that I have awareness? Like, what next?
Well, define awareness. You mean that you already understand your boundaries? Do you mean you understand your pain? Do you mean you understand in living your truth? What does that mean? Because we have to start there, right? It always goes back to the splits. So if you already have boundaries, then reinforce them, right? And by the way, a lot of people talk about boundaries. Oh my God, it's like a whole different topic.
I know, because it's all connected.
It's all connected. With me, I can go on and on and on.
I know, both of us.
But boundaries is just a definition of who you are. You just have to see it like that. I am a square. I am a rectangle. I am a circle. I am a star. It's a definition. And we engage different with each shape, right? We engage different with a rectangle than we engage with a star. Yeah. Right? And the person who wants to engage with a star has to like stars. And likes to like the pointies and the number of points and all that. Yeah. So, but if you don't have a form or a shape, why would someone respect that if you have no form, right? They wouldn't even know what to respect. So it's so important that you understand who you are, or what are your boundaries, what defines you, right? Correct. So to have healthy relationships, that's one of the first elements I would say you have to have. You have to have an awareness, who am I and what do I like, what I don't like, what can I tolerate, what can I not tolerate, and even that awareness, and then obviously communicate, and not necessarily like, here are my boundaries. No, it's like, hey, I like flowers. How do you feel about flowers? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And then you tell me, well, I don't like flowers. Or you know what, Norma? I like red flowers.
Yeah.
And now I get to choose, like, well, do I want to engage with red flowers? Or does it have to be white flowers?
Yeah.
Right? And it's a constant back and forth of, like, how do we connect in a way that it serves both of us?
Yeah.
And we may find out that what really connects us is this flower, neither the red one or that one. Are you wrong for liking red flowers? No. Am I wrong for liking this flower? No.
Yeah.
But can we connect through this one? Yes. And so we don't make you wrong.
Yeah.
We help, and this is the beginning of having a healthy relationship. But it starts with knowing who you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think what's important too to note is that if you have been dysregulated for a long time, you could mistake your dysregulation for truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that happens a lot to people where they're like, but my body is telling me this, but it's almost like, yes, but your body, correct. Your body is just in a familiar pattern and loop. So unless you are aware of where that dysregulation is, I guess it goes back to what Carl Jung says. You're just going to call it fate. You're going to call it destiny.
Exactly. And that's why you had to go into the patterns. You had to question the patterns. You had to literally go back to inner child healing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done inner child healing, you're just repeating your parents' relationship with you over and over and over, or the lack of relationship, right? The lack of nurturing, or the abuse, the lack of discipline, the lack of whatever it is that it was there or not there. You're just repeating that until you question, what do I want or what? And until then, you define yourself, then you really can have a healthy relationship.
And that's where that mental work comes in, right? So it's like, we're not saying that don't use your brain.
No, absolutely. You want to.
Yeah, so
right
it is an
place.
Alignment
Yes.
of, like you said, mind, body,
and
spirit.
Yeah, you have to address all.
Again, it's that holy
Trinity. It's very special.
Mind, body,
spiritual work.
Yeah.
So for the spiritual community, this is actually one of the highest forms of light work is shadow work.
I love that you said that.
It is. It literally is.
I just loved it when I first heard that. The highest form of light work is shadow work. Yeah.
It is.
Thank you so much, Norma. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share?
Oh,
you want to talk about the retreat? Anything else? The floor is yours.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I can always talk about any topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, if you already try so many ways and you're still suffering, contact us because we have the answer. I think we have one of the
Powerful
best answers,
experience.
a powerful experience in a very gentle, caring, loving way, which we use a lot of curiosity, non-judgment. And I think that, we can support you. I mean, we have a whole team full of this beautiful center.
Yes, Samyama.
Samyama. And just come and be vulnerable, be brave, and we'll hold you and we'll go from there.
It's so worth it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because most people will say, but I'm afraid that I'm going to get hurt. The thing I will say, you are already there. You are already hurting. Right?
Oh, yes.
You are already hurting. So what else can you lose?
And you know what? A powerful thing that my facilitator reflected back to me was my protector kept on saying, like, yeah, but there was no physical abuse. Like,
they justify it.
Yeah, exactly. And then my facilitator was like, really? There's no physical abuse? Because right now, the discomfort you're feeling is physical. And I was like, wait, so it's like, I was just making excuses for the pain, right? But I'm like, but it wasn't physical pain. Like they didn't hit me.
Yeah, but it's your
But she's like,
body.
but you're hurting in the body. So that is physical pain. And I'm like my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, yes, the pain is felt in the body. So it is that physical pain, you know? And exactly. I mean, you guys just have to experience this for yourself.
Yeah, if you're ready to go there, if you want really answers, then this is the place. We're obviously not going to promise you the world. I can, but it takes the world time to do that. You have options. You have the 4 days, the 7 days. You could even have a private, by the way. They can have a private retreat for 1 day, 3 days, 4 days. Even for couples, we have that.
There's so many options at Samyama.
There's so many options, right? We also offer the workshops, the 6 hours workshops on Sundays in person. I mean, so it's almost like, which level do you want?
Yes.
Kindergarten, preschool, high
Which
school,
are you ready for?
university?
Yeah.
Right? So which level are you in?
Yeah.
You want a PhD level? We have that.
Ooh, get ready for that one.
Right? Obviously, the healing is a little bit different for each different, right? The 6 hours, obviously we don't go as intense as in the 4 days.
Yes.
The 4 days doesn't go as intense as the 7 days.
It's already so intense.
Yes. But it's still, I can go deeper.
Yes, yes.
And obviously, the private retreats, you got me to yourself, which is like really cool. I mean, sorry about that.
No. Celebrate yourself.
Of course, I'm just being silly. But what I really mean is that you get me to yourself with a group of a team, actually, not the full team, but at least 2 people, to help you really. We just go deep, deep, deep into your patterns, into your pain, and help you. And I mean, what else is there to lose?
Literally, if you're ready to, see your patterns and your woundings being reflected externally, and you're ready to kind of move through that and release that, I just cannot recommend this enough. This is the work.
Yeah.
This is the work. This weekend has just confirmed that you simply cannot bypass the body, the subconscious mind. And so that's it. That's my truth now. It's like, if anybody says anything and they don't believe in this work, I'm going to be like, experience it.
Well,
I've experienced it.
Yes.
And so many people too.
Yes.
And what's powerful too is that we saw the transformation in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, people,
the physical body changing.
People change. You made us take a selfie
Oh,
on the first day, and then we took a selfie on the last day, and you were like, look at the difference, and we're like, whoa, our facial expressions softened. Our eyes look different. There's color in our face. That's the main thing. It's like, oh, in the first selfie, I still looked good, but it's like, just a lack of color. And then in the last day, it's like, I look
naturally
vibrant. Exactly. So thank you so much, Norma, for doing this work, and 2 journalists having conversations.
Yes, that's right. I'm one in the back.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to doing this work with you for lifetimes. And I'm sure we have.
I'm sure.
And we have come back to this life, and we're
absolutely. We always joke about that life. We're coming back together.
I've seen you before.
Mama Bali. It's not the first time.
Exactly. And I call her Mama Norma. Because you are. You're like our mom. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening to this. If you think that somebody could benefit from this conversation, please share.
Go to our website.
Yes. What's the there you go. Share this work with as many people.
Shadow work in Ubud Bali, and
there you go. Yes. And so many people need this work right now. So don't be afraid to like, to subscribe, to share, and let's spread this work to as many people as we can, so we can really collectively ascend and heal our consciousness.
Absolutely. And actually, can I share something?
Of course.
You asked me if there was a question you haven't asked, right? And it's not necessarily a question, but it's an awareness that it just came to me. It's like, when we do this and we integrate, it's almost like, because you're integrating, you're closing that karma cycle that you needed to come back again to finish. So you think of it like that. You're saving lifetimes and really creating more of that integration, because every incomplete experience has to come back to fulfill that experience.
Yes. And again, it's quantum leaping. This is real quantum leaping. Shadow work is quantum leaping. It's actually interesting, huh? Because I always thought that quantum leaping, I have to go to the future and I have to think about what my future self is saying. But it's like, but actually go back, because the past, when you work on the past, it just shifts everything.
Like the movie, Back to the Future, right?
There you go.
Back to the future. So
but also I've heard this theory that actually your future self, that's actually what I mean by retro causality, is that your future self is sending you messages to shift your past.
Yes.
So you think that, it's me in the present self doing this work, but it's like, no, actually there's another you in a timeline. So it's like changing your present changes your past. And again, everything happens in the present moment.
Right? Yes, absolutely.
Everything can only happen right now. I hope this is not confusing, but like this is like, oh my God.
Go watch movies like Interstellar.
Yeah.
You know, the guy
There you go. My favorite movie, by the way.
Yeah.
And he finds out the message came from him.
Exactly.
So actually,
the spirit guides are always us.
Yeah.
Or like the movie Inception, that you go down, 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 deeper and deeper and deeper to go change something that you can see how many levels you go down. It's no different than us going down into our emotions. The message is out there. It's just in the different ways, but it's always, I'm telling you, there are clues everywhere of how and what we're supposed to do to integrate ourselves.
Yeah.
So I love watching movies.
Yeah, me too.
Demon Hunt. What's the movie?
K-pop Demon Hunter. We're having like a deep spiritual conversation about that. We're like, well, but this means this pattern, and this is her shadow. And I'm like, I love being like in a circle with spiritual people because literally that's what we do. And also something that you said that made my day during the gratitude circle was you're like the most fun that I've had with you was when we were jamming to Taylor Swift.
Oh my God. I never knew
I'll insert a little clip
inside of me.
Because I always told Norma that Taylor Swift's song is literally her shadow work, especially her previous
pain,
album. Yeah.
Yes.
And so listening to her sharing her pain helps me access my pain faster.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know a lot of people have opinions about her, but it's like, you know, I think that she was the reason why she found her true match here is because her last album was so like it was literally called Tortured Poets Department. Such sad songs, like depressing. But only after that she's like, whoop, quantum leap, life of a showgirl. That's why everyone always asked, like, how did you go from there to there? And now I'm making the connection. I'm like, wait, she did shadow work there, and she shared it with us.
Yeah, she had to.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
that's another thing you can do. Like, you can process emotions with the help of music. You are not alone. Like, really,
never. And you cannot do this work alone, is what I've learned.
Well, yes, you can.
Yeah.
If you're skilled for it.
Yeah.
But if you're not skilled for it, it's better to
helps
have
to see it outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what was the missing experience? No one was there for you, right?
Yeah.
So the most impact is going to be someone being there for you.
Yeah.
But can you do it by yourself? Absolutely, if you have the capacity to maintain all those perspectives, right? And that usually takes a very skilled person.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you want to work on it yourself, you have to be so honest with yourself.
Yes.
You cannot lie.
And that's where it helps someone to help you accountable to that, to like help you to confront those truths.
Yes.
Like, how are you benefit from holding on to that?
Yeah, because actually the more triggered you are, the easier it is
to default to the program, like no, or not wanting to release the pattern, or so it is better to have someone because they hold you accountable. At the same time, they use compassion to guide you to the process. Yeah. But it's possible if you're highly skilled. Clearly, if you're highly skilled, you wouldn't have that much pain.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all have triggers, but we will be less in that reaction.
Yes.
That's how I find me now. It's like, of course I get triggered. Like, what do you mean? I get triggered all the time. I got triggered during this retreat. But it's like, I'm able to understand, like, oh, this is being activated within me.
Yeah.
And thank you, because I get to work on this now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I get triggered every day.
There you go, me too.
Every day.
But I don't stay in that suffering spiral.
What I do is I go into it and I find out what is this trying to make me aware of.
You have the tools.
It's about awareness, right? And so yes, I go into the trigger, I do my process, and then I come out more integrated. And in some cases, it just needs more calm. In some cases, it needs rest. In some cases, it needs to go do something.
Yeah.
It depends on the trigger. So I mean,
This is the longest goodbye ever. But another thing that I wanted to say is also on journaling, like not journaling from the mind, from the analytical mind, but actually connecting with the energy and then free flow.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's just the last thing.
Absolutely, you gotta stop there. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.